Hey, what's going on, guys? Hope you're having an awesome day. Happy Monday to you guys. We wanted to actually come on live here for a minute just to go over some details about the new rollout of the PPP loans and the EIDL funding that started actually today, and wanted to kind of give you guys some information based on the new guidelines and new laws that's been coming out, so you guys can understand how the process is going to be working. Where do you actually need to get your the application, how to fill it out, and also what companies actually are offering those loans, right? You have to go straight to the SBA? Do you have to go to a bank? Which bank you have to go to? Those type of things. I kind of want to give a just a outline, just an outline of actually how that process is gonna to work this upcoming year, right? So the guys who missed out on the actual PPP, I want to actually introduce this new first round or second round for the people that have already done it before. But the first time I actually want to introduce myself. My name is Donnell Lovely. I am the owner of Lovely Financial Services as well as Refund Tax Solutions, where we actually help small business owners get funding through PPP, SBA loans. Also, we help people with pay the least amount of taxes over year based on tax strategy, tax planning, tax preparation services. I also help other business owners develop and manage their structure so they actually understand how to structure and build their business the right way. All right. So that's a little bit about myself and what I do with my business. But I want to go ahead and try to start off by getting into here and let you guys know to start inviting your friends, because I'm going to actually try to break down some of the details about the whole PPP, the EIDL loan, so you guys can understand about the process, right? So Congress has passed a law back in December, and Donald Trump he signed it into law, giving another $260 billion for aid and the PPP loans, right? So that's been starting to today that small community banks, the local small community banks are the first one in line to do the withdrawal from the actual program, from the SBA program. So PPP is the SBA, the government program allocated by Congress, administered by the SBA. But they also have banks that's actually doing the distribution. And then the forgiveness paperwork that you'd have to go through goes back to the loan company and is forgiven by the SBA. All right. The actual loan amount is forgivable, right? So it is a loan. It's not a grant. It is a loan when you're talking about a paycheck protection. But it's a forgivable loan that actually converts into a grant if you actually spend the money the correct way. So there are certain things that you must do. All of it, 65% of your money has to go to payroll, right? And the other part of your money has to go, can go to, your overhead, right? Your lights, your utilities, your rent, and things like that. But the purpose of the actual PPP program is to retain employees, retain employment, not having people laid off and we have to go to unemployment, and therefore, have to get money from that perspective as well. So the whole gist of it is for small business owners, individuals, to actually be able to fund their business and just kind of like an economic bailout, right? So some of the criteria of having to SBA loans, it has nothing to do with your credit. You don't have to have any collateral or any like down payment. The loan interest rate is the loan amount terms is a 2-year loan with a 1% interest rate, but it's forgivable once you meet the requirements, right? You must be able to spend the money within the 24-week period, right? And most of it has to go towards the payroll, right? The qualifications for you being able to get a loan, right? You must have either one employee or up to 500. That is the maximum, and the maximum allowable funding is a maximum of $10 million, right? For any one company, the maximum you can get is $10 million. All right. So now I want you guys to understand that part of the paycheck protection. Now, who actually, where do you go to get the money, right? So you actually have to fill out applications from the bank, participating banks that has authorized, has the program available to actually offer, right? So you go to your local banks, you can go to your some of your online banks. You can go to some of your community banks like PayPal and Cabbage. Those individuals, they have it, or Chase, or Wells Fargo, or some of those banks that you may already be with. They may provide that as well. Now, it's at the discretion of the bank for your qualifications, right? So they actually do some of the underwriting. Again, it's not credit based. It's based on the actual annual revenue of the company, right? So I need your annual revenue from the year before, from 2020, and then we're gonna do minus your monthly. We're gonna take that annual revenue minus the payroll, right? Payroll, actually annual payroll. We're gonna do the annual payroll, right? We're gonna divide that by 2.5, and that's gonna determine what your loan amount is, right? So that's kind of how you actually determine what your loan amount is. So you got to have your accounts payable. You may have used a third party company like ADP. They can get your payroll. They can pull their documents up. You must provide those documents. And some more other documents based on the lender criteria that their individual banks have. But they're going to tell you exactly what you need to be doing, right? As well as being able to show evidence that you are an existing business, that you have, your EIN numbers and all that kind of business bank accounts, all that kind of stuff, right? So you want to make sure that you have those things available when you're actually applying for the PPP. Now, it does not mean that you can't qualify for PPP if you're just a single member LLC. Our law did say that you can actually apply for PPP for a sole proprietorship. When you're doing a sole proprietorship, you have to go off your net income, right? The net income from the Schedule C. So if you have a net income on the Schedule C, line 23, they're going to divide that by 2.5, and you're going to see what your loan amount is going to be, right? So that's kind of how you actually understand what the loan amount is. Now, for some people, that whole process, it goes from a maximum of 1 to 10 days. It can go up to 10 days to have from start to finish to be able to get funding, right? Once it's approved, your money should be hitting your account within 10 days. So that's kind of the gist of the actual program, right? Now let's switch over to the EIDL. The EIDL, it doesn't go through a bank. The EIDL goes mostly straight through the SBA website. So we actually provide the actual SBA, and they do their particular underwriting, right? The SBA do pull the credit for that particular business owner. They actually look at the business owners and making sure that they had a business before the date, before the December date that Congress had provided for that. And then they actually do your processing, your underwriting, and it normally takes them about up to 21 days. It can take them about up to 21 days to be able to get you approved, get your contracts over, and actually get you signing your promissory notes, and then get you funding. All right. So you do it. The EIDL has a two-part thing. They have a grant, $1,000 per person, up a maximum of $10,000, as well as they have a loan based on the amount that they pre-approve you for. Now you can decline either one, right? You can take the grant, which you don't have to pay back, and decline the loan, or you can take both of them, which then you're going to have to pay the loan back over a 30-year amortization loan at a 3.5% interest rate. At 3.5% interest rate. So there are opportunities available for small business owners, people that have been affected by COVID. So one of the criteria is you must have been affected by COVID, right? So if you had a business that produce, medical grade masks, then you're not really suffering from COVID. You actually start producing from COVID, and your business don't qualify for this type of aid because you don't really need it, right? You've been producing money, hand over fist, right? So that's it. So guys, I wanted to actually go over this thing so you guys can understand what's going on. So right now today, the 11th of January, the minority banks, small individual banks, will be able to start doing the drawing first. Then on Wednesday, It's going to be, from now to Wednesday. Those are the banks that's going to be doing the early draws. It's open to be able to accept applications for the round 2 of the PPP from the bank perspective. And Wednesday, it should be the other banks should be having those applications ready to be accepted. Now, the application process may be a little tricky, little convoluted, and that's where I come in to help, and me and my team come in to help. We actually help go through the process because we have different banks that we partner with. We have to understand exactly what that bank is looking for. We understand exactly what's needed to be done to get you funded, and the actual documentations and processes that we're going to get from you directly and be able to be that liaison on your behalf. So if you don't understand, what documents you need, you don't even just understand how to just, manage the stuff through the actual bank itself, then don't worry. We actually can definitely be that liaison for you and provide that type of services where we actually going to make sure that all your books are in order. We're going to make sure all your documents match up. We're going to make sure you are 100% legit. And then we're going to make sure that you actually get approved for your loan. That way, everything that they are actually offering on the bank perspective, because we use a certain amount of different lenders, that's going to make sure that we understand what they need and process it the same way. So the turnaround time, again, it can be up to 10 days. But once you go through the process and you have businesses, so we do businesses from clubs, gyms, barbers, hairstyle shops, hair salons, daycare centers, movie theaters. Like we help all business owners that actually been affected by COVID. Some restaurants, things like that, that's been really affected, especially like movie theaters and things like that. That's really has been affected. We definitely can make sure we have. So what I'm gonna do, guys, I'm actually gonna put a link to my email. If you guys need to get some assistance with this, and you actually have a legitimate business or one of those type of businesses that are affected by the COVID, and you need some help getting your funding in a nice professional way and having somebody to walk you through the process, reach out to us. And like I said, I'm gonna put my information here, and that way we can do a consultation. I do a 15-minute consultation. We sign, the agreements, and then we go ahead and start processing your information. So once they get opened up, guys, I'm going to be able to. I'm only going to take a handful of people because, like I said, I got me and my team got quite a bit of regular tax returns we're doing. We're actually doing the stimulus checks and things like that. So I wanted to offer this thing as well to a lot of my small business clients, a lot of my daycare owners that has really been affected by this. Some of my contractors that has been laid off. So I wanted to actually, take the time and actually put this out here so you guys can understand that. Again, my name is Donnell Lovely. I'm the owner of Lovely Financial Services as well as Refund Tax Solutions, your rapid refund partner, as well as helping small business owners increase capital by 25% year over year with tax strategy, funding, business formation, as well as coaching. All right. So, guys, I hope that helps. I'm going to go ahead and put my information in here. You guys want to reach out to me, hit me with a DM, and I'll get back with you guys with a calendar schedule, and then we can actually go from there. All right. Hope this helped, and y'all have a good night.